Hey, that's right. It's me, I'm back one more time, great and glorious, soon to be famous one day. Nick Dutch back on the camera again for another delightful tarot show. And I get the feeling in my bones today that we have got a great show coming up for you. These tarot shows, which you see usually once a week coming from me, I've got no rehearsal behind them whatsoever. I do not look at the questions prior to tackling them. And everything I say is just basically off the cuff, just the way they would be if you were to come on the phone with me or get on the internet for a live tarot reading. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure that was nice and clear and you understood basically where everything was coming from. Got my cards at the ready and we'll just go straight into the readings bit by bit. Here we go. Remember, if you want to have a reading, you want to be included in a tarot show with your various inquiries. There's only one way to do it, and that is to submit a request. You can do that via email, and email alone. Not via comment section, okay, not via private message on this particular video blog, but purely by email to nickdutchtarot@gmail.com, and that's where I'm accepting all of the inquiries, so send them through and I'll be more than happy to deal with them one by one, okay? There are some subjects which I can't handle, such as pregnancy, medical matters, childbirth, death, and there's other, a few other mild little issues which I find a bit difficult, so bear in mind. But to the most part, the vast majority of your questions will be game. Most people ask about their relationships, their family life, their social life, and also about career and financial prospects in the longer term. So we'll just have a quick look and see what's coming through. Okay, Red Lip, you've got yourself a pretty curious inquiry about this one particular individual, and it's getting serious, so I can understand the need for a reading, because typically people get their readings when they want to have answers, okay, and it's answers to things which are pressing upon their minds at that particular time. And that's basically what you've got going down here between yourself and this one particular individual. Let's have a quick look and see what the Magic Mystical Tarot is saying. Standard 8 card relationship reading. Here we go. Right. What you've got there is an individual who is sufficiently experienced in life and sufficiently worldly wise to be able to just be a better quality of person. The energy on his side of the reading is quite philosophical and quite positive. Although there are some dark colours there, I don't sense that as being darkness. I sense that as being enjoyment. The Four of Swords is talking about a feeling of mutual amicability there, okay? I think what he's done is he's looked into his negativity to try and work out where some good could actually be. Okay, so he's using his negativity, he's using his personal history as a reference point, and he can go back to that and he can learn. So he's gone through the learning, he's now much more worldly wise. It looks like he's been purged of an awful lot of difficulties he may have had, and now there's a feeling of there being some potential for progress there. Forces between the two of you, okay, don't know whether you can see that there. That's a sign, basically a combination of Mercury and Venus, with a sense of healing, a sense of love, and a sense of compassion and connection in a very literally abundant manner, okay? So the feelings there are very good indeed. So there is love there. If your question is, does he truly love you? The answer there is yes. Now, is he always going to behave perfectly? No, he's human. So am I. So are you. We can't always be like 24/7, 20/20 spiritual people all the time now, can we? No, we've got to go into ourselves once in a while. But essentially, the energy here is quite good. On your side of things, you feel the connection, but you also feel you want to defend yourself. The Princess of Swords can sometimes speak about resentment in it, but in this particular case, that's not what it's talking about. What it's talking about is preparing to defend, okay? But also to do so in a manner which could be potentially attacking as well. So you're prepared to do something to both attack and defend simultaneously. But do you need to do that? Okay, this is a question of needs, must, and essentially do you actually need to have that particular state of mind when dealing with him? I'm not too sure whether you do. Okay, I'm not too sure whether you need to have that particular state of mind or that particular attitude when dealing with him. Because the other aspect on your side of things is also, that's matters of the heart. I know you want to try and protect your heart, but you don't want to damage yourself. Okay? Progression, short term, mid term, and long term. That's looking okay. I feel that this is a stable connection. Alright? He's definitely the sort of individual who would be more happy to show that he loves you through always being there, rather than necessarily saying it. He's sort of like stable, connected kind of individual, rather than anything else, if you get my drift. But the feeling of there being a connection there between you and him is definitely apparent in the reading, and there is a longer term future between you and him. Atoli, let's have a quick look and see what your spread says. We'll just do a short projection into the future. As I've said before, I'll say it again, that particular card and that particular reading is not relevant to you no more, okay? Think about the future and don't dwell upon the past. Let's have a quick look and see what your future is going to come through as. Okay, you've got to carry on focusing in on the material. You can let that slip once in a while, but you've got great potential there. Okay, you are necessarily a very hard-working individual, but you can lose focus on things which actually matter an awful lot. I get the feeling that you are a very sensitive individual, and that can be great, but on the other hand, you've got to be careful and be aware that you don't get distracted away from things which are important. Your longer term future is suggesting connectivity and basically a very good feeling of unity with your community as well. Okay, Regina, you've requested a reading, so I'm going to give you one. Here we go. If you wanted to be a little more specific, you could have been a little more specific with your inquiry, but all I can do is tell you what the reading says, so here we go, one step at a time. Based loosely upon the Celtic Cross spread, okay. Right, signs for the here and now. You're a great individual, but sometimes you can have your head in the clouds, alright? So you just need to be a little more to the point, I would say. There's a good feeling of there being balance and strength and determination on your side of things. But you've got to make sure that the things you are determined towards are things which you actually need to be determined towards at the moment. Maybe you get distracted by things you see coming at you through the media, through the news at the moment especially. Now that can be a negativity for some people, but from your side of things you just need to be aware that that potential is there, and you can actually see beyond it. The energy of the reading is suggesting on a conscious level that matters of the heart will need to be focusing on pretty soon in order to be able to maintain that side of your life. But subconsciously you're aware that this is a time of making sure that your longer term future can be okay. And that can only occur as a result of making plans and preparations now. What is it that you want to study? I've got some academic signs coming through for you yet again relating to the past, but the past feeling is that of if only. Right? If only this could have happened, if only that could have happened. It's like you want to change your course of your life somehow. More signs of academia coming through within the short-term future. So you're planning and preparing. You're thinking about what you could have done in the past. You've learned from it. You're thinking about how to do it right, and creating that feeling of change there. Okay. Now, your mid-term future signs are predominantly to do with taking bigger dramatic responsibility for who you are, where you are, and what you are. Moving further forward with the rest of your life, basically. So you are deliberately turning this year into a year of change. You're making 2012 become a year of change for yourself. And some of it is to do with healing the damage which has been done to you through altering your own life path. Are you with me? Okay, altering your own life path so that you can get to a place of stability, serenity, success and achievement. And that's where more loving signs are appearing for you, okay? And a lot of it is to do with study, a lot of it is to do with learning or picking up something else, another course of study, maybe it's just a once a week thing, I don't know. Or maybe it's something which you're choosing to do in a non-formal way, okay, a non-formal form of learning, alright? But it's a specific course of knowledge which you're trying to give yourself because of the way in which you feel the world is going to go or your life is going to go. So, you'll do fine. Okay, Saba, you've got a great relationship with Johnny. And you want to make sure that when he's going out at the weekends that, he's not doing anything he shouldn't, okay, for want of a better phrase. So we'll see what the reading is suggesting as to whether there is anything untoward happening when he's going out and going away, or indeed whether there's no real need to worry. Let's have a quick look and see basically what the reading says. Bear with me a second, please. I don't think you do need to worry. There's no signs of him wanting to be involved with anybody else. Yes, I know you're disappointed when he's not really communicating properly. Alright? And I know you would like there to be more progress so that you and he could basically build a bond even more. Now, I feel that this is a relationship, yes. I feel that he's not yet taking it seriously enough, because a proper relationship is basically a little more just, him and her together, really, isn't it? Rather than him and his mates. Alright? So, he's not quite in the zone yet, is he? I don't think he's seeing anybody else. but I also feel that he needs to start showing you more respect. I think that the change that you desire within this relationship, okay, nice friendly death card coming through here, the change you require in this relationship can actually happen, and without too much in the way of bitterness. The Queen of Swords can be a very bitter character, can't it? Okay, so the love is there, but his mentality is not quite on the mark. So how can you make sure it's on the mark? I would say that when you see him during the week, tell him what you feel a real relationship is about. Tell him that you feel that it should be about just you and him. He should be spending less time with his friends now, because basically you're both getting on a bit now. Okay, you're both getting on a bit. You both require a more stable variety of life when you're both basically together as a unit. You don't want to carry on sharing each other with other people, not quite so much anyway. Sure, we all have to branch out into society, but you know, where's the full direction going here, if you get my drift? So trying to explain these things to him in a loving manner will probably be very useful, I think, because he's obviously got a lot of the heart in the right place, but not a lot of the action, and I think that's where the things should really start moving up and improving, basically. But the long-term feelings I've got, not too bad. It's just a question of these little boundaries and borders which have been going on within the connection between you and him. So you don't need to be worried about him doing anything untoward, but the untoward thing that he's doing is he's spending a lot of his time dealing with his mates and not enough time building the bond with you. So you've got to work out whether he's in that settled state of mind as of yet. Okay, Brenda, you're curious about 2012. Let's have a quick look and see what the reading says about that. Bear with me a second, please. So, chronological progression here. Plenty of signs of good romance in your medium-term future, not just yet though, but that'll be working out. For some reason I've got a bit of a sense of you dealing with a bank manager for some reason. There's like, there's an issue you're trying to sort out. You're trying to prepare for something big. Is it a house move? Is it a change of accommodation somehow? So that you can get basically your life on track the way in which you would like it to be, the way that you would envisage it to be. Something big along those lines you're going to try and orchestrate. And it's not going to be enforced upon you, but you will be able to make it happen. So it's quite a positive energy as far as creating change is concerned. But how are you going to be able to do it? Okay, so thinking carefully, researching heavily, but realizing that this strong male individual should be entering into your life or building a bond with you better. And this sense of there being a great feeling, and I mean a great feeling of a romantic connection. The Moon card is often associated directly with matters of the romance or romantic type. Okay, it's to do with the heart, it's to do with being together, it's to do with building a bond and enjoying each other. Okay. So there's good, interesting things happening there for yourself, but from your point of view, I think that you need to spend time planning prior to action. This is it's still a very positive reading, okay, but spend time planning prior to taking action. Okay, Joanna, you wanted me to read upon the relationship between yourself and your boyfriend to see whether things are still going to go okay. Let's have a quick look. Bear with me a second, please. Okay, yeah. I'm sorry to have to bring this up for you, Joanna, but you know there's something of darkness happening there between you and your boyfriend. Okay, the feeling I'm getting is that maybe, just maybe, there's something not quite right here. I'm not saying the whole relationship is a write-off, but there's something not quite right here. There's signs of treachery on his side of things, and also a sense of the presence of another female energy or individual, which makes me feel that this is somebody who may actually be involved with somebody else as well as being involved with yourself. But I feel that they haven't told you. Now, the very fact that the force between the two of you is talking about worry and anxiety and something which feels a bit unhappy makes me feel that you're aware, or that you feel, that there is something wrong with the way in which he's behaving. Okay, so you're aware that something's not quite right. On his side of things, there's signs of treachery and potentially being with somebody else. Do send me a private message about the situation when we can try and discuss it in greater detail, because like this is getting difficult. Ideally, get yourself, on the telephone or on the internet, chat with me. Links below, okay, and then we can try and discuss this, because my impression is that you could repair the damage. He's being stupid, yes, but you could repair the damage and try and make something good occur. Your side of the reading, again, very strong communication sign, just like many readings, okay? Alright, the woman has sometimes got either the upper hand or the greater wisdom to make sure things can actually work out according to plan, but it's not totally cured, if you get my drift. Not totally cured, because you've got the potential, but you just need a bit of extra impact, and that's one of the reasons that I'm here, basically. And one of the reasons that I do this work is so I can help people like you who are struggling to try and make things work out right. Now, what I haven't done with this one particular reading is to expand it and have a look at short-term, mid-term, long-term, future. Okay, the next 3 cards of the 8-card relationship spread. For those of you who are learning tarot, it's all a question of 2 on his side of things, 1 for the nature of the relationship and the energy between the 2 of you, and 2 for the inquirer. Okay, that's the way a relationship spread works out, and then there's a further 3 for short-term, mid-term, long-term goals. Okay, so you're still being shown all the cards, despite the fact I'm not giving you groovy camera angles, okay? I know those groovy camera angles can make a good bit of eye candy, but sometimes people just want to get the message straight. So let's see what you got here. Okay. Knight of Swords. Again, communication, but communication with conflict. You're going to have a fight with this individual during the short-term future, within 3 months from now, which is going to have an impact upon the relationship. It's not necessarily a negative thing, because you could be rearranging the boundaries and the connection between you and him. So it's going to be unpleasant. Okay, don't get me wrong here, it's going to be unpleasant, but you've still got some good potential. Now, mid-term future, that's actually not looking too bad. There's some loving signs there. The Knight of Cups can be talking about love coming from the male energy, from your partner, into the relationship in a more passionate way. So, we've had signs of treachery on his side of things, coupled with the possibility of him being with somebody else. That, coupled with what I'm feeling, makes me feel that basically he's been doing something naughty. Alright, you've been feeling it, you've been recognising it, you've got the skills to make it work out right. You need a bit of help to try and make it work out right. Short-term future, conflict. Mid-term future, he's turning the corner. Okay, he's doing something which is basically going to make the whole thing work out right, because he actually wants to keep the relationship and keep it going. Yes, the card did turn up reversed. No, that's not really a worry, because he's basically... That's a bit like the reading saying he's got to get his head out of his backside, if you get my drift. Okay? Longer term future. Nurturing, loving, caring. So you've got an appalling situation in the here and now. Alright, with him being a complete pain. But you've got potential to try and turn things around. So it's a bit of drama for you there. But I wouldn't be too worried about the longer term future anyway. Provided, of course, that you do what's right and you have that discussion with him. Okay, Michelle, no, I'm not doing general readings on this service anymore. You've got to submit a question. If you don't submit a question, you're not going to get your reading done. Sorry. Okay, this is a question from Martina. This is a rather curious inquiry, because Martina is a lady who's dating a married man and wants to see whether there is any potential there. Now, sometimes it can happen, okay, within all the years in which I've been doing this work, and I have done this for, for people who are actually in marriages, who wanted to make some, wanted to create change, wanted to get a divorce, start with somebody else, or already started a relationship with somebody else. I wanted to see whether it's possible, whether, the right decisions can be made. I mean, this is actually a very common situation. So let's have a quick look and see what the reading says about this one particular situation, because, it is complex. It can be very emotionally nerve-wracking, okay? But on the other hand, you may still be able to get through it no matter what, basically. So let's have a quick look and see what the reading suggests. Here we go. Right. Okay, forces between the 2 of you, the card in the middle. What is that? Lightning struck tower, that's a good thing. That's a bolt from the blue. Okay, it can be a bad thing. It depends upon the energy or the feeling of the whole reading, for those of you who are learning tarot, okay? You've got to think about the vibes you're getting from the client, from the energy, from wherever it is that you get it from, okay? But and just the feeling, alright, just the feeling. But the lightning struck tower in this particular case is a good feeling for myself, because it speaks about the destruction of an old way of life and the building up of a new one. Now, on his side of things, okay, there's a bit of a sense of there being some interesting signs there. He's showing signs of some disappointment or dissatisfaction with the way in which things are for him at the moment, but I don't think he's turned that against you. He's turned that against his current situation. So you could be right. This looks like the kind of situation whereby you're potentially well positioned with all your ducks in a row, so to speak, to get a situation of him leaving his wife, and bringing about the relationship between you and him the way that you actually want it. Now, on your side of things, very tranquil, very peaceful, very placid. Okay, you got your 10 of Cups there, which is talking about total satisfaction. 10, of course, being completion and wholeness in its own right, and that coupled with the 4 of Spades, which is sometimes known as completion, means that you're a very whole individual. Okay, you're a very balanced, well thoughtful individual. You're not the kind of person who's actually nervous or anxious. This situation might make you nervous and anxious because you don't quite know which way it's going to go, but you're built in like a very whole way inside your mind, inside the way in which you are. So you're not going to get fazed by this too much. It's a bit like the 4 of Staves, sorry, the 4 of Coins really, because that's also a fortress sign. That's talking about strength and stability. We all like that, like emotionally. So essentially, you don't feel difficulties when they happen around you. So you're a very lucky individual. Very few people are like that. Now, progression: short term, mid term, long term. Here we go. Next 3 cards of the reading. Very good indeed. All right, now. We've had a look at the force between the two of you. Okay, that was looking quite interesting and quite good. Now the progression. Short term, it's not going to happen straight away, alright, because the Ace of Coins is stability, continuity, okay. It's also a new direction, yes, but it's not happening, boom, it's not a complete flip. So something big is going to happen first, which is going to create the instability which they need to be able to get separated. Then you've got a feeling of a new direction developing, but essentially it's not fully completed, so to speak. Then the next 2 signs, okay, planning and preparation for a new form of life. So within 3 to 6 months, it's going to start happening for you. Followed by your longer term future, which has the signs of romance being the Moon card, okay. So within the pessimistic time frame of 9 months, you'll be there. Within the pessimistic time frame of 9 months, you'll be there. Possibility it could all be completed in 6 months, okay? So yes, I believe that's going to happen for you. You will end up marrying him. I feel that very strongly. Saba H, you've come back with another question. That's perfectly okay, perfectly acceptable. Let's have a quick look and see what we've got here for you. You want to get into Arizona State University, so you want me just to see, boom, you know, basically what's coming through, thoughts, feelings, moods, energies, what's coming through on the cards, and all the rest of that jazz. Focusing purely upon this, like, boom, big stage of your life. College is a big stage of your life, whether you're going back to college or whether you're doing it for the first time, even whether you work there, it's still a big thing, isn't it? You know what I mean? Alright, let's have a quick look. So essentially, you know what we're looking out for. Alright, some of them have come out before, and I think some of them are coming out now. And one of them, which I often associate with things of an academic nature, there you go, the 8 of Staves. Coming through reverse, because essentially that's not happened yet, but it's there for further on down the line. Being re-echoed there with the 3 of Staves there. Staves are very mercurial anyway, but the 3 has a solar component to it, which essentially speaks about warmth, feeling nourished. This is the right place, the right time, and you will be proud of yourself that you're actually in the right place at the right time, being nourished by all these good things, which is going to drive you in the next right direction, okay? Hard work being done, definitely. But you being portrayed as someone who's already got it inside you to do something good, I believe they're going to accept you. I really do believe they're going to accept you, because they're going to look at you, according to the reading, as someone who already knows stuff, someone who's already well designed to be able to achieve what you want to achieve. Okay? So it's good feelings that this reading has given me about this one particular question. It's not bad. I know it's always a question of anxiety. Well, you know, will I get there? I wouldn't make any massive decisions about your entire life on the basis of a reading. But what I would do is just use them to help yourself think about, you know, whether that's the right decision for yourself. Maybe you yourself would even doubt whether Arizona State University is right for you. But either way, academic science is coming for you further on down the line. There's definitely a sense of formal study, not informal, not just going onto YouTube or Daily Motion or any of those other sites and just like thinking, oh, I could look at that and that might give me a bit of information. No, you're not doing that kind of thing. I'm seeing it formal. I'm seeing you settle down doing a whole course of education of some variety or other, not too far down the line from now. Precise time frames, I'm not going to give you them because I don't know them. Alright, quite simply, I don't know them. The reading did not actually specify it, and so I'm not going to go into that for you. So essentially, I wouldn't worry about that for the moment. On with next inquiry. Okay, Simon from Lancashire, in England. Great to hear from you. Hope things are going okay up there. You haven't got too much in the way of frost, ice and snow. The thermometer on my parents' car today registered -5. -5. So, you know, it's been a bit chilly, been a bit wintry. But you wanted to hear purely about your career. purely about your career and where that's going to go. Let's have a quick look and see what the reading says. Remember, for anyone else out there, if you want to be included in a tarot show, then quite simply send me through an email to nickdutchtarot@gmail.com. That's the only place where I'll be accepting them, okay? Right, your career, very long term, very good. But you've got your work cut out for you. There's a bit of signs of struggle and strife there, but also pride in having achieved and overcome an obstacle. The biggest obstacle you've got is in the workplace you're in at the moment. Alright, there's pressure from above, and also there's misrepresentations. I get the feeling this is what you call backstabbing. I get the feeling this is people who are disagreeing with you and basically treating you in a very bad and negative manner. And what you're trying to do is you're just trying to survive, because basically you're finding it a bit too hard because people are saying lies about you. And so it's all a question of, it's all a bit difficult. So although we've got the Wheel of Fortune there, and that can be talking about fun, I'm not picking it up in terms of fun. Yes, you enjoy this variety of challenge, and one of the reasons you like being in this environment is because you can have this variety of challenge. But you're not too happy with the fact that it can be quite so aggressive, I feel, and quite so intensely political. So essentially you're trying to fight against that. But you're not sure whether you can succeed and achieve, or whether indeed you should actually just be leaving. I mean, essentially, if you've been treated that badly, maybe you do actually just want to leave. But on the other hand, you've also got to think of your record and where you're going to go with your longer-term career, or indeed whether it's going to stay along the same track. I feel in your particular case, it will stay on the same track. It will stay within the same industry. Okay, there aren't that many signs of changes happening. We've got the signs related to strife and struggle, yes. We've got the feeling of basically the interaction that's happening there. Your boss swooping down upon you and basically trying to attack you in some ways as a result of, a whole backlash of negativity from down below. That's the way it feels to me. Correct me if I'm wrong, okay, but I get the feeling that there's been untruths spoken about you. Maybe you said something inappropriate once, and hey presto, it's been misinterpreted into something bigger and worse. And that's not necessarily working out according to plan, okay? So the feelings I'm getting here are really rather peculiar, associated with the way in which you've been treated. It's almost like also you've been knocked down a bit, you've been bullied a bit, and then that's had an impact upon the way in which you've been perceiving the kind of like messages other people have been giving you. That's something you may have to deal with the passage of time, okay, because no one else can basically do it. And I know you shouldn't have been treated this way, but you have. Alright? But if it was all that negative, would I have signs of success and achievement of a great level to the point whereby other people will be envying you in your longer term future? You're doing something right, and you are something right. And I think you just got to carry on remembering that and reminding yourself of that. Maybe there'll be an extra something else you'll be doing in your spare time. Something else you'll be doing in your spare time will assist you in getting to where you want to go. You just need to have faith in that, and to realise that no matter what negativity has happened to you, alright, not only are you going to pull through this, but you're going to use all of the negative stuff which has happened to you to help others. And I think that's one of the many important messages I can give you today. Okay, we got a chap called David from Los Angeles, who is also inquiring about his career. Okay, here we go. Go on in, David. Let's see what the reading says about your career. But with you, it's a little more simple, though, isn't it? Just a question, will you get a job or not? Let's have a quick look and see what the reading says. Bear with me a second, please. I am shuffling like crazy. That's what I do when you can't see my hands. It's me concentrating, because that's the way I do it. I really should have like another couple of cameras up here just to show you how I prepare each reading. But I don't, so sorry. Right, well, the feeling I'm getting here is really rather fascinating in its own right. Generally speaking, swift action. I think swift action is what you've already been doing, but you just need to carry on going for the moment, because essentially the material energy is there. The material energy, speaking of hard work, is definitely there. I get the impression you actually want to be a counsellor. I get the feeling of that, okay? You actually want to be able to, really help other people. This is a career reading, just inquiring about whether you're going to get yourself a new job. But the Moon card is coming through, and I get the feeling that's the subconscious mind message. Something about you is therapeutic. There's like the message of the staff of Hermes, that the two snakes coiled around the staff. It's a mercurial feeling. But I got that when I drew the moon card. Okay, I got that when I drew the moon card because it's healing of the mind. You're the kind of individual who looks at other people and thinks, I can see that there's pain there. Okay, you can recognize that there's pain in other people's lives. And you want to basically do something about it to try and help other people out. Go for it. Go for it. Your fortunes will change relatively soon, but you've just got to carry on going for your goal. Alright? But also you mustn't stop looking after yourself. Okay? That's the last reading of today. Remember, to anyone else out there, if you want to be included in the tarot show, submit it via email to nickdutchtarot@gmail.com and I will try and get back to you. No, I won't try and get back to you. I'll include you in the rota. Unless, of course, you're asking a silly question, you don't have a question, you're asking about death or pregnancy or medical matters or childbirth or any of those silly things, okay, then, you know, in some ways I can't help you. I am running a legally regulated service. And you've got to bear that in mind too. Legally speaking, tarot readings, clairvoyant mediumship readings and all the rest of that are regarded as being an entertainment service for good common sense reasons. Okay? You are the final decision maker in your life, not me, not your clairvoyant, not your psychic, not your medium, not a religious person, not anybody. You. And that's something that you, no matter who you are or how experienced you are in all of these matters, alright, no matter who you are, remember it. And I look forward to speaking to you again very soon. Okay? Good fortune. God bless.